Hola, hola chicos, ¿qué tal? ¿Cómo están? Espero que estén muy bien. Hoy vamos a estudiar o repasar los complementos de objeto directo e indirecto juntos. So we have already been looking at direct object pronouns by themselves as well as the indirect, but now we're going to be looking at them together. Sometimes we may need to use both of them together in the same sentence. So we're going to be refreshing your memory first with direct, then indirect, and then looking at some examples when we need to use both of them in the same sentence. So let's see. Okay, so for direct object pronouns, I have this little picture here. Hay dos dinosaurios, la dinosauria y el dinosaurio. La dinosauria no está muy feliz, no está muy contenta, ella está un poco molesta con el dinosaurio porque el dinosaurio no la abraza, él no la abraza a ella. Entonces ella le dice al dinosaurio, ¿por qué tú nunca me abrazas? Tú nunca me abrazas, ¿por qué tú nunca me abrazas? Abrazar is the verb to hug, so ella le está diciendo al dinosaurio, you never hug me. Tú nunca me abrazas. Tristemente, el dinosaurio no puede abrazarla porque tiene los brazos cortos. Los brazos del dinosaurio no son largos. Él no puede abrazarla. Él no puede abrazarla. Él no la abraza porque no puede. Entonces, so here in this sentence you see the direct object pronoun me. Why? Because she's asking why does he not hug her? So she's saying, why do you not hug me? What? Or she's saying, you never hug me. Me represents I, and I is the person being affected by the action, right? The action is the hugging, the hug. The subject is the person that hugs, that does the action, but the direct object is the person that receives the action. So in that case, the female dinosaur would be the direct object, and the direct object pronoun that we need for her, as she's talking in the yo form, in the me, in the first person, she needs to use me. Nunca me abrazas. If she said, tú nunca lo abrazas, then she would be saying, you never hug him. If she said, tú nunca la abrazas, she would say, you never hug her. If she said, tú nunca nos abrazas, she would be saying, you never hug us. But in this case, she's saying, tú nunca me abrazas. So you never hug me. So that's an example of direct object pronouns. This is just a little table to refresh your memory. We have already seen this before. By the way, if you want to refresh your memory a little bit more with more examples, there's a video that I already made, so you can watch that too to help. Or of course, you can ask me any questions that you may have as well. So let's look at some examples. One more example with direct object pronouns. En esta foto tenemos a Kate y William. Kate es la esposa de William. William es el hijo de la princesa Diana. Ellos son ingleses. Él va a ser el rey. Ella va a ser la reina. Ellos son esposos. Ellos tienen 3 hijos. Kate ama a William. Okay, Kate ama a William. ¿A quién ama Kate? Kate ama a William. So to answer the question, whom does she love? We're going to say that she loves him. So we need the pronoun for him. The pronoun for him is lo. Lo could mean it, but it could also mean him. So in this case, because we're talking about un hombre, it means him, right? So Kate lo ama is Kate loves him. As you may or may not remember, the pronoun goes right before the verb. Not like in English where you put it after, we put it before in Spanish. So it's not Kate ama lo, it's Kate lo ama. So you're literally saying Kate him loves, but that's how we would say Kate loves him. Okay? But if you have 2 verbs, you're gonna have 2 options. So let's look at this sentence here. Vamos a comer las hamburguesas para el almuerzo. Vamos a comer las hamburguesas para el almuerzo. Vamos a comer, that's 2 verbs. Vamos from the verb ir, which means to go. This is in the nosotros form, so it means we're going. And then comer is to eat, so we're going to eat. What are we going to eat? The hamburgers. So that's the direct object. What direct object pronoun do we need for the hamburgers? We need las, because it's feminine and plural. So vamos a comerlas would be we're going to eat them. Now, as I said, if you have 2 verbs, you have 2 options. So the other option would be to put that pronoun right before the first verb. Instead of attaching it to the second, like we did in this sentence, vamos a comerlas, we could say las vamos a comer, and that would also be correct. I would say if you guys have to choose one, or if you want to choose one, choose vamos a comerlas, attaching the pronoun to the second verb, because that is more similar to the order in which we speak in English versus las vamos a comer, because that would translate to them we're going to eat versus we're going to eat them. So, yeah. And then another example, ¿cuándo vamos a comer el pollo? Again, you have two verbs there. So, vamos a comerlo, el pollo, we need lo because pollo is masculine. So, we're going to eat it ahora mismo, right now. Or lo vamos a comer ahora mismo. Okay, now let's start looking at indirect. We just saw direct when you're answering the question what or who receives the action of the verb. Now we're going to look at for whom or to whom something is done or given. Okay, so here, lo que estás comiendo. Lo que, when you see those two words together, you can translate it as that which. Okay, so that which you're eating, estás comiendo, you are eating. And then lo que tu perro quiere, querer, the verb querer, to want, so that which your dog wants. And then lo que tú le das, das from the verb dar, which means to give, so you give. So that which you give him, or you give to him. So you're giving to him the little piece of bread. Él no está muy feliz. Él quiere la hamburguesa, él no quiere un pedacito del pan. So here we saw le, that's one indirect object pronoun. So all the direct and indirect pronouns are exactly the same except for the last row, right? The lo, la, los, las becomes le or less, right? Le for him, her, you, or less for them and you. Okay, so let's look at a couple more examples, and then we're going to start looking at what happens when you need to use both of them together. So, as I said, the indirect object pronouns are used when we want to answer the question for whom something is done or to whom something is given. So, if I say, yo serví una ensalada, I served a salad, and then I need to answer the question, ¿para quién? For whom? And the answer is para Pedro, and now I need to say, I served a salad to Pedro. I'm going to say, yo le serví una ensalada a Pedro, because le means to him or for him. It could also mean to her or for her if it's about a female, but in this case it's a male, so for him. So yo le serví una ensalada. I served a salad to him. And then a él le gustó mucho. If I want to say that he liked it a lot, I still have to use le because it's about him. Now, if I want to ask you about you, what do you like to eat? ¿Qué te gusta comer a ti? Then my indirect object pronoun is te, because that's the one that we use with tú, right? So what do you like to eat? And if you want to answer, you could say, a mí me gusta comer pizza, me gusta comer hamburguesas, me gusta comer chocolate, helados, etc. Okay, so now let's see what happens when we need to use directos e indirectos juntos. With indirects, we're going to be looking at all the indirect object pronouns, but with direct, just lo, la, los, las, so the it or the them. Okay, so if I want to say, María sirve la sopa, María serves the soup. La sopa would need to be replaced with la for it, if I want to say María serves it. But now if I want to say she serves it to someone, I need to figure out what pronoun do I need for that someone. In this case, it's going to be for us. So the indirect object pronoun that I need is nos, because that's the one that goes with us. So if I want to say she serves it to us, I could say María nos sirve la sopa a nosotros. So to make it more simple, I could say María nos la sirve. And nos represents nosotros, and then la represents la sopa. María nos la sirve. Notice the indirect object pronoun goes right before the direct object pronoun. That's the order that you need. You cannot do it backwards. It wouldn't make sense. So first the subject, then the indirect object pronoun, then the direct, and then the verb. So María nos la sirve. María, to us, it serves. That's what it's literally saying, but we're saying María serves it to us. If you have two verbs, though, you have two options. So one option is to put those two pronouns right before the first verb. like here, ella nos la va a servir, so she's going to serve it to us. Or second option is to attach those two pronouns to the end of the second verb. So ella va a servirnos la. Ella va a servirnos la. Notice it all those two pronouns with the verb, they all become one word. Okay, so, and there's an accent there that is added to the ending of the verb. So ella va a servirnos la. Now let's see the same sentence, but when you're talking about a him or a her. So she's going to serve it to him or to her or to them. In this sentence, again, the same person, Maria, serves the soup, but now she's serving it to Pedro. The soup is for Pedro, es para Pedro. So we would say, María le sirve la sopa a Pedro. That's the full sentence. María serves the soup to Pedro. But that's too wordy. We just want to say that she serves it to him. We know it's about Pedro. We know it's about the soup. So we don't need to keep saying soup and Pedro. We can say it and for him. So technically, you should say María le la sirve, because le means to him or for him. However, we in Spanish do not like when two pronouns that begin with L are together, because it sounds like you're singing, almost like le, la, lo, la, les, los. It's really weird. So we replace le or les with se. So instead of saying María le la sirve, we're going to say María se la sirve, and then se means to him. If it was about a female, she's serving it to her friend Juana, it still would be se. If she's serving it to a couple friends, Juana and Juan, still would be se. Okay? So, and then if you have two verbs, of course, two options, you could put it right before the first, like ella se la va a servir. She's going to serve it to him. Or ella va a servirse la. She's going to serve it to him. The second one is probably easier to remember because it kind of has the same order that we have in English when we speak. Okay, chicos, that's the end. Good job. If you made it to the end, hopefully you're not too confused. If you are, of course, please let me know. I'm more than happy to help. I'm here to help you guys. Okay? Ciao, ciao.